right, so typically I have my guests introduce themselves, but I think I'm gonna do the honors for this one. This is my auntie, my Aunt Ruby, and we just brought her in to talk about some Fort Worth history and some Black history. So I'm gonna ask you this: what year were you born, Annie?
1940.
1940. Okay, so in 1940, you born in Fort Worth?
Fort Worth.
Okay, and are you both of your parents? Are they from Fort Worth?
Fort Worth.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So you what side of town?
North side.
Okay. So on the north side. So I was talking to one of my guests one time, and he born in 45, and he was telling me at one point most neighborhoods in Fort Worth were mostly white. Like Poly was mostly white, Eastwood was mostly white. But the north side is one of those areas that was always mostly predominantly black. Was it always predominantly black?
One part of it.
Okay.
From our house was on 3122. So in 32nd, back down to 28th Street and on was the black.
Okay.
32nd back to the left was all white.
Okay. Okay. So
All the way back to Long and back over in there.
right.
Because that was before they put the airport and everything, took over everything over there off of Long.
Okay. 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 Let me ask you this: growing up on the north side, I know you tell it was mostly split. It was had one half was black, one half was white. Growing up in this is the 40s, so by the time you really going outside and stuff like that, it's maybe 45, 46. Are you playing with white kids at that time, or is it?
No.
Okay. Okay.
In 46, I lived on Ellis, down in the stockyard.
Okay.
That's the next street from Maine.
Right.
And we stayed there. I went to Clinton Avenue School, which was where they have built Rodeo Park now.
Okay. Okay.
And we went to school there until 1950.
Right.
And they built open Kirkpatrick.
Right. Okay. Okay. So growing up, let me ask you this: since it's segregated, what is there to do for a kid outside? Like, what are y'all doing outside? Are y'all riding bikes? Are y'all even venturing?
No, we just ride bikes, playhouse, make dolls, baseball in the street.
Okay.
Because during that time we didn't have paved streets.
Wow, really? There were no paved streets?
There were no paved streets.
Okay. So it's really pretty much dirt roads.
Dirt roads.
Wow. Okay. So now let's talk about grade school, right? You're getting into grade school. What is it like? Because at this point you got to be going to an all black school, right?
All black.
What school is that? The first school you went to?
Clinton Avenue.
Okay, Clinton Avenue. And when we say all black, is Fort Worth ISD a thing at this point, or
it was affiliated with ISD.
Fort Worth ISD? Okay. So let me ask you this: are the teachers all the teachers black and
all black teachers?
Right. Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this: if you pretty much living in a world where it's nothing but black people you're encountering, nothing but black people that you know working with, dealing with, what is the feeling about white people at this time?
Well, I haven't had that much dealing with them until I started working.
Right. Okay. 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 So pretty much you don't even really have much encounters with white people at that point. So let me ask you this: what do your parents tell you about them? Do your parents even tell you about them, or do you don't even know nothing about them really?
They never talked about them.
Never even talked about them. Okay. And let me ask you this: do you know what your mother and father did as far as their professions? Like,
Okay, my mother, before I started the school, and my daddy was in service,
Right. Okay.
my mother worked for Armour's Packing Company, which was down in the stockyard. Armour's was on one side, Swift was on the other.
Right.
Okay, and when my grandmother got sick, my mother had to stop working so she could stay at home with us. And we were still down on Ellis then.
Right.
And my daddy was in service till 1945. I think daddy came home in 45. I started the school in 46. Yeah, daddy had come home.
Okay.
And my daddy was an auto mechanic teacher at I.M. Turl at night.
Okay.
And then he worked at Swift's Packing Company in the day.
Okay. Okay. So he had two jobs.
He had two. He worked nights and days.
Right. Okay. And so I'm pretty sure they have encounters with white people, but once again, they're not really telling y'all about them or talking to y'all about it at all.
No.
Okay. Okay. So let's fast forward. Let's go back to you in school. So while you in school, you growing up, you at an all black school. Let me ask you this: do you realize that the world is segregated, or you don't even look at it that way?
I never thought about it
Right. Okay. Okay.
because we had our own activities, and we would go to I.M. Turl for tournaments. We would go to Como for tournaments. And we had Gwen, and that's about the only schools Dunbar.
Right. Okay.
So we were all just knitted like that.
Okay. Just close knit. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that's actually important as far as when we get on down further in the line. But what it sounds like is as a community, we were more close knit black people.
That's right.
Period.
Everybody on our street, the older people, took care of us.
Right.
If they tell you what to do, and you didn't do it, you were in trouble.
Right. Okay. So what's funny is, as far as my generation, we hear about it, but the world wasn't like that by the time that we
No.
became of age. But
No.
you always hear about the village, right? Like you hear about the village. It sounds like that was the
We
village.
had a village.
Right.
We had a village.